It's seen its final days. What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here once again. Hope you're having a great day today. It's not a great day for the Scott's Elite Spreader because it's finally going to get what it deserves. Either a beatdown, the dump, something like that. Thank you for tuning in. I recently have been using this spreader out at the project lawn to apply some products there, and it messed up on me again. Now, I'll admit earlier on in my lawn care journey, when I would apply fertilizer of the granular nature with a spreader, I failed to always wash it off. Since starting to do that, I noticed that the Scott spreaders that I've had have been working better. However, recently, not so. I had a bag of something that was, it didn't even come near the top. It may have been the Jonathan Green Magical Plus. I was spreading that at the project lawn. When I pull the handle, it does not want to open the slider on the bottom of the spreader. Very frustrating. Some of it got put down in the project lawn. Some of it, I literally had to hand throw it out because I'm stuck away from home with a spreader that is not working properly. That is the most frustrating thing ever. And you guys know I've talked crap about Scott spreaders for a long time. This is my third one. So I had two of the two Scott spreaders when I first was nothing into lawn care, just bought whatever's at Home Depot or Lowe's, used it, didn't work. As I mentioned, I may have failed to spray it off, but it failed to open the slider on that one. So got rid of it, threw it away. Well, Dad said, hey, I've got an extra one. It happened to be the exact same type of Scott spreader. Brought that one here. I'm doing more lawn care stuff than him. Same exact thing. It failed to open up. Had to throw it away. So I said, okay, I'm going to put in some extra money. I'm going to go with the Scott's Elite Spreader. We talked about it here on the channel, and the same things have begun to happen. When I get weight upon on the spreader, I'll show you. Even though this thing has 4 sliders right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 squares you see there, it's like when weight is applied to the top of it and I squeeze the handle, there's no adjusting it. So here I am at the project lawn with product in the spreader, and I pull the handle and nothing wants to come out. The edge, if it would work if that would work every time when I pull the handle, the proper amount of item product would drop and spread, I would have no issues with it. But that's my main problem. Even the tires, I don't really have a problem with the plastic tires. It's just the main function of the spreader does not work. We want products as DIYers and residential home care, lawn care, we maintain our own lawns. We want things that work, right? And so I finally I've had it. That was it. I was frustrated. I literally had to scoop up the product and throw it in the project lawn and spread it by hand, which is not ideal. But what else do you do, right? I had no choice there. So that's what I had to do. Even though some of it did broadcast, it would just continuously get stuck. So I've purchased a Earthway 40-pound residential spreader, and it was $191. And so I've went $91 more than my last spreader. And I thought about doing a cool video about shooting this, about throwing it off my kids' playground, and then just escalating, just like running over it with the truck. Like, I've thought of some really violent things to do to the spreader because I don't like it. But I said, no, let's not do it for the sake of humor. I would do that in my youth, but I'm over 40 now. So we're going to be smart, and I'm going to see if my buddy, Mr. Ronnie at my church, can help me out to at least get this thing running on its last 2 legs, and maybe we'll keep it at the project lawn as a secondary spreader to use there, so I don't have to keep bringing a spreader back and forth. Even though that's more than this spreader deserves, I think that's the route I'm going. So let's get to the new spreader. I'm done talking about this thing. Let's just get it out of here. That thing has ticked me off way too many times. I don't even want to look at it anymore. Even the GCI Turf Academy sticker I put on it didn't help it at all. It probably is a desecration of that sticker itself. It doesn't deserve the GCI logo to even be upon it. So anyways, I'm tired of looking at it. So let's get over here. Let me move you guys over here to the new. Now this is the unboxing. I haven't even unboxed this myself, so I have no idea what's inside. So here's the plan for the rest of this video. We're going to unbox. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to time lapse me putting it together while using the laptop here, you see Earthway on the screen there. That's because they give you an instructional video. So I'm going to follow that video, time lapse it, put it together myself. Then obviously for those of you that may be interested in saying, well, hey, I need a new spreader, I've got a crappy Scott's or whatever. I want to know, how does that thing work? I'm going to save this clip. You're watching it now because now the following clips will be me actually putting something down with it, giving you my honest opinion. The real review on a spreader though is a year later or 6 months later or a year and a half later, 2 years later. How is it held up? For the Scott's, I cannot give it a good rating. I'd give it a 2 out of 5 stars if it was an Amazon rating. I'm never buying a Scott's spreader again. Now, I want to say that I did look at Jonathan Green. I did look at Lesco. I did look at Spiker spreaders. They're just way too much for me personally. The Earthway was a cheaper one, even though Earthway does have commercial and residential spreaders. This is the residential. 40 pounds is what it can hold in this one. And so it was 191, and that's on the cheaper side. So that's the reason why, that's the main reason why I went with Earthway. So just looking in the box real fast. This one is going to be different because we've got actual rubber tires with this. So you've got a good set of tires. I know a lot of people complain about the cheap plastic tires on the Scott's. Having the rubber tires is always going to be absolutely useful. All right, here's the main guide that you want to see. There's some paper there. Here is the Earthway bucket. So it's literally like a bucket. Hello in there. So there's the spreader components now. Side spread control. It looks like you're going to be able to turn on almost like an edge guard on this as well. So here's the bucket part that you get with it. So instead of boring you to death with pulling it, hey, here's a black bar. Nobody cares about that, right? So let's pull all this out. I'll begin to put it together. We'll fast forward this part. We'll go out. The next clip is when the next time I have to use a granular and spread it. We'll spread that with this with this residential broadcast spreader. And then I'll let you know my initial thoughts of the Earthway 40-pound broadcast spreader. All right, guys, so we got the spreader put together, and when they mean assemble it, they mean assemble it, everything. It's not fun. I would say give yourself at least 45 minutes. I timed myself. I haven't looked at how long it took, but it felt like it took me between 30 and 45 minutes to do it. So their video is pretty good. I would probably go on YouTube and look at somebody else because they say, put this here, and they don't show you where here is. And so I'm a stickler about direction. I would rather you show me 5 times the same thing from different angles than, because it's like almost when they're making the video, they're making it so that they present it properly because they're working for a company and they're like, look, I did it, I'm not incompetent. Well, I don't think you're incompetent, but we have to put this thing together and we don't do spreaders every single day. So what place are you talking about hitting, putting this or that and other? And so anyways, just nitpicking on the video, but I would look up probably a YouTube video. It's not fun, but I sometimes there was a few moments of frustration, but ultimately this is nowhere near as annoying and difficult to put together as the lawn striper that I put on both of my mowers, which big league lawns. I love striping. I love the fact that I can take it on and off, but putting that bad boy on was the most frustrating thing I've done in a pretty long time. I hated that. I never want to do that again. But this not so bad. So the next clips you guys will see whenever this video is releasing is we're going to test this out at the project lawn. I believe the first test of this will be when we're putting down the Verigreen from Jonathan Green, our pre-emergent plus fertilizer out at the project lawn. So without further ado, let's go test it out and see if Mr. Ferguson knows how to put things together or not. my initial impressions after using it my first time out at the project lawn, and it is definitely a change. Let me give you the pros. What do I like better about this? Well, I mentioned it in that previous video. There is no spring here. So on the old Scotts, you would have to grip and pull the spring back, which would open our holes in our spreader. This is totally different. As we showed you earlier putting it together, this uses a metal rod here. So when we pull the handle back, it shifts, and that rod opens and closes the holes in the spreader here. So I like that better because it is always, as long as this mechanism here works with pushing it back and forth, we're always going to be able to open and shut. So I like that better. I also like a ton the wheels. They're not flimsy. They're obviously, you see where we can put air in it. It is a major difference. It feels better. I think that's way better than the old plastic wheels by far. Something else I like the spreading capabilities. I noticed when I was using the spreader, it was throwing it a good ways. It just felt great. It just felt good. I love the tires. I love the fact that we also have, if you look underneath here, they call it side spread control. I'm still gonna have to get used to this because this threw me for a loop. But if we have it all the way over, like so, it's going to spread all the way. It looks like it's all the way open, and it looks like if we go all the way to the left as it clicks there, now you're only spreading to the right. This was confusing the first time using it. It's going to take me some time to get used to this, where my edge guard, when I would just pull that down on the Scotts, it would block it from the left, and it was on the left side, so I knew the left was shut off. This one, you have to pull it to the left, and it's only going to shoot it on the right. So it's a little bit different. It's going to take some getting used to, but all in all, it worked. And I put it together, so that's a benefit. There are some things that you may want, some downsides to the Earthway. It is short. When I stand up to it, it is up to, you know, it's not even up to my hip when it's resting. It's just barely above my knee, to be honest with you. So it is, if you're a taller guy, if you're at 6 foot something, it may seem super short. This is very tall, or this is very short as well. You can see it's not very much up to that, but it's not a big deal. When I get behind it, that's not an issue for me. I'm 5'10", so for me, it's perfectly fine, but it does seem short. The other thing, a major thing I'm gonna have to get used to, probably the biggest, I won't say it's a con, but it's something I'm gonna have to get used to, is every time you stop, you've got to close it. So now it's open, we've got our side guard on, that's closed. On the spring handled Scotch, you just let off and it shuts. There is no automatic shut. So you have to be ready to shut that off and turn it on every time you turn around, or continuously still keep moving. That is a big change. It took me a while, because if you've got it open and you forget and you slow down, it's pouring out into the feed, and you can dump so much in one area, you can burn your grass depending on what type of fertilizer you're using. So that is a major change. Also, I did notice when I put it on like 14, which would be somewhere about right here, you can see how much that is open here. It didn't seem to come out hardly at all. Again, the prills of the Veragreen weren't super duper small, but still on the spreader, having it around 14, and you can see here it's got an arrow, and here's where 14 would be, is right around there. It didn't seem to drop, and I would have to actually pull it a little more to open it up. And there you go. And so it can be confusing. Okay, the arrow's here, the edge of the spreader is here. So to me, that would be 14, because you see you got 15 here, one dot back would be 14. Or is it where the arrow should be, which is more like that? And that would be covering the 15. So I don't know. I'll have to play with it. But all in all, that's just something that I noticed. We got it spread evenly best we could. I like the bucket style. And I think that's it for the negatives. It is rather short. And when I had it in the lower settings to spread, I couldn't tell if anything was coming out, especially in the shade. Other than that, the gears worked great. The spreading as you walk works great. I love the tires. I love the look of it. I love everything else about it. I love the side control. And so hopefully it will continue to work well for me. So I want to thank you for watching this Earthway, my initial review of this new residential Earthway for a 40-pound spreader. I've been talking about hating my Scots for a long time. It's left at the project lawn. We're going to leave it there. And whenever hopefully we'll try it out again up there. We've got a spreader in place at the project lawn as well as here at my lawn. I may work with some of the Yard Mastery fertilizer that Alan Haynes sent over. We may do that in my own lawn just to be able to use this and save some of our liquid fertilizer for later. So many of you commented on the last video, but this is just the unboxing, the quick review of me putting it together. Wasn't fun, but wasn't terrible. Give yourself 45 minutes to an hour to put it together. Can't tell you, we'll review it in time to see how does it compare overall with the quality against a Scott's Elite. I think it's going to do better. So far I like it. It is a bit of a change, but I think I put my money in a good spot with the Earthway. So thank you for checking out this video. Hit the like button if you would. Remember our contest, comment below on this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.